Is everybody ready?
Yeah.
Ready for everybody.
Welcome to another GBPRA podcast. This is Shooter Ready, brought to you by Boscobel Weapon Systems. I think this is about our 9th episode of season 1, and we have got a very special guest tonight, and that guy is Jack Crawford. Welcome, Jack.
Thanks for having us on.
Our pleasure. And with us also is Simon Armstrong. Simon,
I'm here as
hello.
well. I thought I was going to be introduced as a special guest then. Never mind. Life's full of disappointments like that, but everyone's, it's the same guy with a beard talking nonsense again. Jack, great to have you along. Thanks for coming and speaking to us.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure, mate. It's a pleasure. And you are very much more special than Simon, I must say, mate.
Yeah, not going to lie. Yeah, he's a better shot as well. So many things. He can probably run the 10K quicker than me as well, with a big bag on and all that sort of stuff.
Don't know about that.
This is the first of 4 interviews we've been sort of desperate to do ever since we finished IPRF qualifiers. For those out there that have lived under a stone or don't know what's going on, Jack was, I'm not going to say head and shoulders comfortably because it's not fair to Dan who's below you, but you were up there all the way through, and you comfortably won the military law enforcement class of our IPRF qualifiers. So, firstly, congratulations, mate, on that.
Thanks. Yeah, thank you.
And for putting the time in. Like I say, we plan to speak to the other 3 division winners, and then Christian. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, we'll have done all that stuff, and it'll be one seamless thing where it'll look like we've all planned it.
Yeah. And Simon's right as well, isn't he, Jack? I mean, because if you just look at that leaderboard, you were 4th place overall. So even if you were shooting open, you'd have been a firm favourite for one of those top spots.
Yeah, I've had some really good matches this year.
Yeah,
I think I tailed off towards the end there, but I had a few good matches. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you said tail off towards the end, there was a few other people that tailed off in that match as well. So don't think you're on your own. And that's the trend, isn't it? It's still. Was that the weather one? That match 6?
No, that was a wind.
5.
That was the wind one, where it was just horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
really windy.
Tom Rice regularly, I think, wakes up sweating, thinking about that match because he had an absolute. By his own admission, he had an absolute stinker in that one. Yeah, Tom was like 20 points behind you or something. So, yeah, and you were consistent all the way through, mate. Fair play to you. And like Christian said, even if you just turned up you could turn up with anything, even if you've been outside military and LEO, and you'd have qualified. So, very well done. What's your secret?
I don't really know, to be honest. I've got no idea why I've been doing so well. So when I started for the first like 3 years of doing this, I'm not going to say I was terrible, but I was like bottom of the leaderboard. I was coming like second last or like third last, and yet this last couple years I've actually started doing quite well. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just something just clicked really.
And is that reps or is that kit or is that reps with the right kit? Where's the blend? 'Cause it's an important mix, that, isn't it?
I've been putting a lot more training in. I think it is probably the training, probably reps. I mean, funny enough, I do a lot less shooting with my centerfire, but I do a lot more shooting with rimfire. I'll only put like 20 rounds down on my centerfire before a match. In fact, between matches, maybe 20, 30 rounds on centerfire, but I'll put hundreds and hundreds down on a rimfire. I usually try and go out once a week now. It's hard now because fuel prices is killing me, but I'm trying to get out once a week to do some positional training with rimfires. I don't really try and stretch the distance either, like 100 meters.
What is it that you shoot centerfire and rimfire? What rifles have you got?
So I've got a Lithgow 105 for the centerfire and a Lithgow 101 for the rimfire.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that's not because they're the same chassis or the same triggers or anything like that. It's just because they're really good rifles. Yeah. I'm not particularly sold on the whole having a training rifle that's exactly identical to your match rifle. I don't think that's where you get the benefit from training. I think that you just get training. You just get the benefit from just putting rounds down, just getting the trigger time.
I agree with you to a certain degree. but then I also disagree with you because I do have a training rifle that is set up exactly like my match rifle. However, you are a much better shot than me. So I'll just shut up now because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but when you talk about the reps,
it doesn't hurt.
About the reps and what, like Jack was saying before, you know, you speak to Tom Rice. You know, Tom got into target shooting with a vast experience of stalking, hunting, knocking deer down, and he's out all the time. So you know, and that's you know, crude positional stuff over a wall on a row sack, dropping on the ground, all that stuff, and it's reps. And Tom is, every time I speak to Tom, he's up in the middle of nowhere stalking. So you know, there's no replacement for those reps. You can turn up with the best kit in the world.
I agree.
You've just got to put those reps in.
I'm very, very worried that some of the foxers we've got in this country are going to get involved because there are some brilliant shooters, and they do this, as you say, day in, day out. You know, they're getting out their trucks, they're going on a fence post or you know a gate, and they're shooting foxes at sometimes quite a long range. And it's a moving target. They don't have time to get a cash shot. They're just putting one round down and down foxes. So if some of those foxing guys get involved, it's going to shake it up a bit, definitely.
And that's pressure training as well, isn't it? That's not just leisurely sitting, knocking steel around.
Yeah.
That's getting out, perhaps having to yomp a little bit out of breath, a little bit uncomfortable, and putting that round down, knowing that if you hit it bad, you're going to have to come get it, knowing that you've got backstop issues and all that. So I absolutely agree with you. That's why I find people, and that's why the whole hunter class of what the NRL have done is so fascinating, because you get people from those backgrounds who'll come in, who are, you know, working shooters. You know, look at my memory's terrible. Up at Sealgate.
Brad Borner? Yes.
Look at Brad. You know, Brad's up there knocking stuff down all the time. I know he's got a military background and he's got all that, but he's so fresh and sharp with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not steel that's not shouting back. It's a deer that's going to sniff him, or it's a deer that's going to, you know, all that. So yeah, I think you make a great point, really, mate. So we should ban fox hunters then. Is that what you're saying? Fox shooters. Make it more expensive for them to join us. Something. Yeah, okay. We'll take that on board. We'll feed that back.
What about us rabbit hunters? Don't we get a look in?
To be fair, so I've been doing more rabbits recently, and it is hard. It's hard. What I struggle with is range estimation, because I don't have rangefinders, so I have to be spot on, or you know, you got to be within 10 meters or you're missing.
Get a rangefinder, mate. It's a game changer on the rabbits.
So it's on my wish list.
It's funny you say it. I've got a 300 Vortex Solo rangefinder. It's not an electronic piece of kit, and within it, it's got 3 human figures for 100, 200, 300. And the theory is that if I line it up next to Christian, who stood there nice and straight, the silhouette matches up. Now, when they bring one of those out with rabbits for you, Christian, won't you? Yeah. You can range a rabbit based on little rabbit, medium rabbit, big rabbit. And if it's a rabbit like this, you know it's pretty much stuck in on your barrel, so you'll be right.
I'm a great believer in precision, though. I like to have 5 meter intervals, and I'm on.
Yeah, it's good fun. Rabbit shooting is good fun, and there's a lot of skill involved. Anything with a 2-2 is that, you know, your skill set has to be spot on. Your wind calls have to be spot on. Your range has to be spot on. Everything has to be spot on for you to hit the quarry, especially.
But again, it takes us on. I'm going to surreptitiously go to a point that you and I have spoken about, Jack. Is that when Christian goes out doing his rabbit hunting and stalking, might be, he's on land that he knows, and you can work out your distances and your wind. You know where the wind's going to pick up. When you're out either foxing or moving around new land, then you're having to read those conditions, you're having to work on new terrain. You don't particularly know where the wind's going to come from. I know we've had these conversations about having more ranges in the UK, so you can go and shoot in different environments, sometimes even new environments on new sides of hills. And that's a real challenge to any shooter, that really, isn't it?
You get a feel for venues, for the winds of venues. They're always going to be roughly the same. You get the odd day where it's different, but most wind in this country is pretty much going to come from the same direction, and most venues are the same. I know when I go up to my training area in Bodmin, 9 times out of 10 the wind's either going to come from my right or straight at me. It might be doing some funny stuff every now and then, but most of the time it's going to be one or the other. And it's the same with Orion. You usually find that it's, if the wind's coming from the right hand side, it's coming down that valley and straight at you. So you're feeling it on your face, but it's actually a right to left. And if it's coming left because of all those hills and all the gullies, then you might as well just. It's just guess like that last match.
And that's why when people rock up and they got the Strelux out and the Kessels out, which I'm not knocking.
Yeah.
But having to sort of catch up with that data, do those conversions and all that mathematics on the hoof, it's a big ask that when you rock into a new venue. So some of that, I've said it to a few people, and I can't remember who it was I was speaking to, and I call it using the force. You develop some of those rudimentary skills, don't you, to do it to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong, if you're in really difficult conditions, be it wind, humidity, whatever it is, at the top end, then you're going to need some mathematical support, certainly for distance. But you've got to have some degree of analog, haven't you, to do it?
Yeah.
To be able to do it yourself, use some very rudimentary kit. So, like I talk about my rangefinder when I'm stalking, it's only designed to go out to 300 meters. It does the job, but it's not going to fail when my battery goes or if it gets too wet. And it's Vortex, so Chris will just replace it if I've sat on it anyway. But you've got to have those analog skills, haven't you? And you get those from things like rabbits and quarry. And
people do tend to rely on their Kestrels a bit too much, and as you say, certain venues it just can't. It doesn't actually help you. Like that Orion, you got the wind coming straight at you, but it's actually right to left because of the way the valley is. Jesus Christ, you might as well. It is just guesswork half the time because you're shooting. I don't know if they've changed the fine point yet, but when you're shooting, you're just shooting through space, and there's nothing around to give you any indication of where the wind's going, unless it's raining.
And the land just drops, doesn't it? Land just drops into a ball, and you're shooting out into the void.
You're on top of the fine point size because people are going to be listening to this and they're thinking, I don't understand. You literally you at CIS you shoot from quite a high elevated fine point, and then your targets, the 900 meters targets especially, they're out to your front, but the ground drops maybe 30, 40 meters into like a valley, and then it comes back up towards the target. So when you're shooting, your bullet is 10, 15 meters in the air, and there's nothing there for you to judge it. Yeah, it's hard shooting.
And shooting in Scotland in itself, with the weather that Scotland has, it's a different ball game. I mean, we always have this joke. People always ask why I shoot Magnum calibers because I don't know if you've been up to the 2 mile range that was Gardeners, now SSA soon when it opens. The most challenging conditions I've ever shot in. When the weather's bad there, when the weather's bad you can't shoot. But when the weather's moderate, it's still very, very difficult. I mean, I've shot down at Bodmin. The land you're talking about, I've had some of the most pleasant days shooting in my life. Nice sunny day, nice and predictable. The further north you get to Wales, weather gets a bit dicier. By the time you get to Scotland, you can be shooting in a typhoon sometimes. That's why God invented Magnum calibers. Chris and I have this conversation all the time. And that's why we need more venues. We need more locations. Expose people to all these different things. And hopefully, if everything keeps going the right way, Brian's opened up at Pro Shoot.
Yes, really good range. Really good range.
And Andy and the lads have put on shoots there. Mark's got Gardeners, Big Sis, Little Sis, Orion. Chobham's on now with steel and some positional stuff. So hopefully, going forwards, we can start to see some more new venues.
Yeah, there's a place up in North Wales as well that's opening soon. Steel target range.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic. That's what we need. We need more of them.
Yeah, I shot the first PRL at the first Gardeners, the original Gardeners. Yeah, it's challenging venue.
The 2 mile one, the 2 mile is absolutely, it's a phenomenal piece of land. I was with Darren last weekend on the shoot show. It's just about finished now, and anyone that wants to shoot distance in this country, certainly 2 miles, it's a fantastic venue. It's probably one of the best commercial civilian access ranges in the country, I think.
Hopefully they have it open for booking matches as well. That'd be awesome.
We've had these discussions. There's lots of stuff lots of smoke and stuff in the background, but and with all the political stuff that's going on up there, with people not very happy about shooting and the shooting community on the whole, I think understandably people are moving very tentatively at the moment. But fingers crossed, everything's going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, Jack, just getting back to yourself there. You've obviously talked about lots of practice with the 2-2, and that's helped you improve as a shooter. You've got quite a background though in the shooting sports. Do you want to just talk about your upbringing and how you got into shooting?
So I moved over. Well, my parents moved over to France when I was 7 years old, and then my old man quit his day job when we were out there, 2007, I want to say, 2007, and built a 100-meter range, and it's been running it ever since as a training venue. Originally, it was a lot of CPE maritime, and now it's more get a lot of London types coming down for events, corporate events, and people who just want to have a play with some pistols and some semi-automatic rifles. I'm actually going over next week to they've had an instructor drop out, so I've dashing over there to help them instruct on a pistol course. So
you've had a rifle in your hands since age 7.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it was Christmas when I was 7. I got an air rifle, and
nice.
Most of the pictures from my younger years are just me with a rifle in some form. Yeah. And then I moved quickly on to 2.2s, which is funny because I moved very quickly on to 2.2s, and then probably by the time I was 14, I sort of stopped shooting 2.2s because I had 9mm pistols and M4s and things like that to shoot. So I started playing with them, and it's only the last couple of years, so about 2025, when I actually got back into 2.2s, and I'm enjoying it as much now as I was a kid. Yeah, I can't believe I ever stopped shooting it. Yeah.
And 2.2s have evolved significantly from what they were when I started shooting. I mean, there's companies out there, lots of companies out there looking at now, looking at the ballistic sides of rimfire, looking at reloading and the projectiles, and it's gone bonkers. Some of the distances that people are shooting precision-wide, certainly in America, 2.2 is quite mind-blowing, really.
Yeah, well, I've just seen RWS have just released some 2.2 ammo, factory 2.2 ammo that is boat tail bullets. So that'll be absolute game changer. I mean, it'll be about probably 5 years before we get it in this country because the way things are at the minute. Yeah,
if we even get it because we've come out of the EU, but and some of the platforms as well. I mean, I don't say this because Bagara Boy sat there, but you've got a hat on. I'm going to call you that. But look at the Bagara B14. I think it's a fantastic piece of kit. I've sold a few. I love them. What's the new one Christian brought out? The affordable one? Is it BMR or something? What's the new
BMR? Yeah.
BMR. So that's I won't say it's been designed as a precision rifle, but it's a bolt action sporting rifle, sub £500, solid action. I've got people coming to me and saying, "Well, what should I get?" And I can't find them anything. Maybe the SCZ. Yeah. So the market seems to be at a time when it's expensive to everything. 2.2 is growing. It's more affordable, cheaper to run. You haven't got some of the issues you've got with barrel life. Any of the issues you've got with barrel life with some of the sort of the rigs that you guys are running. And I personally think this country, with the limited ranges we've got, 2.2 is a significant part of the future for all shooting, including precision rifle.
To be fair, I think we're really lucky with ranges, in this country. I think we probably have more ranges per I don't want to say square foot, but within driving distance of most people, than pretty much anywhere in the world. Speaking to some of the Americans, some of them have to travel a long way to get to anywhere that shoots above 100, and a long way for them is like, we consider a long way like 8 hours driving. For them, a long way is like 12, 13
3 days.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
Well, you look at what's the old thing? You can fit the whole of the UK into Texas. Yeah, and we've got 4 solid venues, 75 venues in the UK. Hopefully 6 within 12 months. And Texas probably just has that many when it comes to somewhere you can shoot a precision rifle match. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
But 2.2 is going to be massive. I fully believe that. 2.2 will be the So 75 will be like the Formula One, and 2.2 will be the touring car.
Touring cars. Yeah, it's a good analogy. That I like that.
It'll be. Yeah, it's going to be massive. Just as you say, anyone can set up a little their targets in their not in their back garden, but as long as you've got 100 meters, you can do some solid 2.2 shooting.
And it lends itself to some indoor stuff, some outdoor stuff. People that have got 50-meter ranges that can run a reasonable course of fire at sort of 45 meters, putting barricades out 5 meters beyond the firing point. So it really has opportunities. So
which is how we set up the PR22.
Well, exactly that.
The matches Josh has been running down at C2 Precision, the 100 meters, and it's completely covered firing point. It's when you're used to standing on. When you're used to standing at Orion getting absolutely drenched, it's actually feel quite civilized.
Well, Gardeners Guns, I'll be there on Sunday shooting the Little Sis.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to take my son along, Luca. He's going to shoot his first match as well. He's doing his probation now with Gardeners. And, that's either inside the clubhouse, shooting outside, but it's covered shooting area, or they've got a polytunnel and you shoot out of the polytunnel. So it's all covered, whatever the weather. Great event. Great venue.
Yeah. It's going to bring so many more people into the sport, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think what we're saying is we're in a good position, and going forward, hopefully things are just going to get better. On the subject of different ranges, we'll talk about one in France, because you're off to France, aren't you?
Yeah.
To France with us. We're off to Biche. Is that what how we're pronouncing it, Christian? You're the media guy.
No, it's Bitch.
Beach.
It's Bitch.
That's what we're saying. That's our position on it.
I'm married to a French girl. Jack lived in France since age 7, so I'm saying Bitch. What are you saying, Jack?
Beach.
I'd go with Jack. Yeah, Jack. There you go.
Yeah, go with Jack.
So come August, come hell or high water, come COVID, come someone invading someone else, we'll all be over in France representing Great Britain, which is kind of a strange thing to say.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I've just made it by the skin of my teeth.
What, in terms of time off, or
time off?
A day either side of that day of that week, and I wouldn't have been able to make it. Yeah.
Wow. And there's a lot of people in that position. You know, I've had to sort of beg and plead with people and try and condense travelling times, and hopefully we've got some sort of formula that works.
Yeah, and if the ferry's late, I'm absolutely screwed. But
again, this is something that normally would take 12 months to pull together.
Yeah.
You know, originally we were going to Hungary. Well, originally we were going somewhere. Where were we going first before Hungary? I can't remember. I wasn't even involved then. And that didn't happen. And then Hungary. And now we're at France. I mean, the team that Philippe and co, are, I've got every faith in them. The venue's fantastic. The thing I was going to ask you is, I envision when we get over there, and I've seen the returns for who's sending where and what, there's going to be a lot of military shooters out there.
Right, okay.
I'm going shooters. I mean, I think they've put some ridiculous blanket ban on camouflage or something, which is always comedy.
Yeah,
you've probably got anything that isn't camouflage, so no.
As in clothing or any form of camouflage equipment?
That's subject to debate at the moment.
We're having that healthy discussion with them now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of my stuff is, dual purpose. I have it for work and for.
Mate, you might have to get a spray can out. You say it's a bit strange, but I mean, look at Bisley Camp.
Yeah.
They
don't allow uniforms.
I can sort of understand it, but on the other hand,
I've stood at the final point of Diggle when they're doing CSR, and every single person's head to toe in camo. And if you take the picture the wrong way, it looks like you've got a paramilitary training camp in Colombia. You know what I mean? So I can get the media spin on it, because it's a civilian shooting world. Whether we agree with it or not is a different matter, but I might have to start lending Jack some of me jackets. I think you're a lot slimmer than me, so I think
see, my argument
layers on.
Is anyone who's going to take a picture to try and discredit shooting, they're going to try and discredit shooting no matter what, because they don't like shooting. Whether we're in wearing
costumes, absolutely,
camo or not, they're going to try and discredit sport. It doesn't matter what we're really doing.
I think it's been. I don't think it's been. I think it's been a decision that's been forced upon the venue. I mean, they've done well to get into the venue. It's a fantastic venue.
Yeah.
I know,
especially in France, where the military they're using the military range, aren't they? Which means they can get kicked off at pretty much any point.
So yeah. But the point I was sort of alluding to is, we've had the three of you, you, Dan, and it looks down is and the second Dan Watkins as well.
Dan.
We also had lots of people. So I was speaking to lots of cops, not so many military, but certainly a lot of police officers who were interested in doing it. But we're sort of sat on the fence waiting to see what happened. And I think it's something that you and I have had a long conversation about it. We were fortunate to have a team from your guys along at a team's event we ran in the past, and I think it's something we need to try and encourage more of to get your guys involved, because we're underrepresented in the UK with it when it comes to the skill set that you guys have got. Because let's not kid ourselves, some of your guys are training every day for a living, and that's a great advantage to have when you're going up against other people that are training every day for a living.
I'm not sure how much that training crosses over to what we do, but yeah. I mean, I mean, the years where I first started, I spent a lot of that time on shooting teams representing up to tri-service, like up to like the highest level of shooting, just below Team GB is Team GB Select from there. So for some of their guys, and I rocked up to precision rifle and just got my ass handed to me. So I don't think it. Yeah, it's a very different style of shooting.
Yeah.
But
the discipline's there, and that's the thing for me. I mean,
Yeah.
I can safely say without looking at it, the top 5 people who in our competition last season were all in the top 5 because of the discipline that they had. And it's a sport where if you can maintain that discipline, and certainly in your mindset as well, if you're not phased by bad shots, everyone has them. And I think if you come with that mindset, you've got an advantage. But there's some very talented people in there that have never been in the military, and that's the beauty of shooting, isn't it? You've got people who rock up to events, and we've had some people turn up, never shot anything more than sort of 100 meters with, I'll say, conventional rifles as opposed to sort of precision rifle rigs. And before we know it, they're now going to Europe, to France. They're moving across to AIs and all sorts of stuff.
Lawrence
and
Barnes.
These are just exactly Lawrence, Mike Underwood, all these sorts of people that have just gone out. I mean, Lawrence has got an unfair advantage, and he'll forgive me for saying that because he's got an extensive background in shooting. But like you said before, it's a different thing. You can be a fantastic F-class shooter, a CSR shooter. You come into precision rifle, and all of a sudden you're blowing out your ass because we've got you doing press ups or whatever it might be.
But as you say, what he brings across is his mindset from high-end competition. Like 90% of this precision rifle is mindset. You could be the best shooter, and you see it all the time. You see some guys from other disciplines you come across, and they're amazing shooters in their own right. Like they would, absolutely smash any of us prone, but you put them on a barricade and they don't become a less good shooter. It just gets in their head.
And they're less comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, you're not going to shoot well. It's full. I mean, it's interesting to say that because I stood with a novice shooter when I was match directing one of the early shoots. Can't which one it was. And Josh all of a sudden got himself into a comfort zone. And we were discussing what Josh was doing different to other people. And I was just saying he's not been phased by his bad shots.
Mm-hmm.
He'd have a bad shot, or the shot wouldn't go according to plan. He'd sort of go straight out of his head, and he'd recover, and he'd get straight back on.
Yep.
Whereas you see other people, they'd have a bad shot, and it'd affect the next 3 rounds they put down range.
Yep.
And it's that mindset thing. You're absolutely right. So, and the more people we have coming from a background like Lawrence and Scott, yourself, and we can start to support some of these people coming through, I'd like to think in 3 or 4 years we'll have a really strong group of individuals that can, hold their own against whatever country might be in an international competition.
Well, the problem with this country as well is such a lag between. I mean, I speak to quite a few people on a regular basis, and like, I really want to do it. I really want to do it. And it's like, yeah, brilliant. This, they're like, what should I get? And you give them some advice for a few options, and they're like, right, I'm going to go out, I'm going to buy that. And then it takes them 3, 6, 9 months to get a variation for firearms, for their firearms, or they want it. They're looking in from the outside into shooting. They're like, this is something I want to do. How do I do it? Well, join the club. You're gonna have to be in probation for 6 months. Then it's going to be another year before you get your FAC. And then you have to buy. And then you have to buy your rifle, and then you have to practice. So, I mean, I've spoken to a few guys who've been wanting to do this for maybe not a couple of years, but for a fair old whack, and they're only just now getting the kit together. So, there's just such a lag between people seeing the sport, thinking they want to give it a go, and then actually being able to do it.
Good point.
Because I mean, instruction is a big part of that. So and I'm going to focus on this because you've instructed for us, and I know you do a lot of instruction anyway. And unless you've got the people that are willing to pass some of those skills over and invest the time, there's no one in this country that's going to make money from instructing when it comes to precision rifle. They might make a bit, but there isn't that market there. So for people to invest the time, that's volunteer work. And then once we've got that network up and running of people that are willing to invest their time, that's when you see it go like that. Because the kit happens, doesn't it? They see your kit, they learn from your kit. I know we can't get bogged down with FACs and police forces because that's just a complete mess. It's just a mess.
It is.
But the more shared knowledge we have, the more shared kit we have, the better we're going to be. So I commend you for the efforts you've made, and we had some fantastic feedback from people that you've instructed, and going forwards, you're a key part of what we want to do. If it's the case, we're going to be able to get more people training.
A lot of it's just, I think people look at it and they think it's just some kind of dark art because they watch it's quite daunting when you watch it from the outside, I think. I mean, even so when we first rocked up, so for the first PRS match at Pro Shoot, some of the Pro Shoot guys are, they do practical stuff. That's what they do. And apparently, I didn't hear it myself, but apparently they were like, those targets, they're a bit small, aren't you? Aren't they? What are you hitting for? Oh, yeah, from that firing point over there. What, and they're actually going to hit those? I'm like, yeah, they'll hit like 9 times out of 10. What, prone? No, off a barricade.
He'd be stood on one, he'd be sat in a breadbasket, uncomfortable, catching his grass. I'm like, what? Yeah, absolutely.
And, and I think a lot of it's just, showing people that it's not, there's no like dark magic behind it. It's not something special. It's just decent fundamentals, tied with some good
fundamentals
mindset.
and reps. That's it, isn't it? Fundamentals and reps.
Yeah, absolutely. And then practicing in the right way as well, because you can practice bad fundamentals. Not all reps are good reps. You
can breed bad habits very quickly.
You can, yeah.
Fantastic. Going forwards, we've got calendar-wise coming this year. What are you going to be shooting for the rest of the year?
So June we got the PRS match, haven't we? First week, second week, right about there. Yeah. So first match is going to be PRS. Maybe hopefully trying to get to GBPRA at the end of that month. There's one in June, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there's another PRS in July. So but my window is basically closing in August. So by the time August comes around, that's my shooting done for the year, unfortunately, because of work. So I'm trying to get in as much as I can while I can.
Fair play. Go out with a bang in France. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Christian's struggling with a glare on his camera.
Yeah, I'm having my camera's having a bit of a fit here.
I've got high hopes for France. As you said, I did come fourth, so I was thinking maybe I should have gone open, because it sounds better when you're fourth.
Yeah, I mean, it's an evolving thing. I mean, my personal thing, and I'm not speaking out of turn here. I think for individual competitions, if it wasn't for the fact that we were fulfilling the criteria that the IPRF gave us, there's an argument for everyone shooting open. That whole factory class, open class, the gulf can be significant for some people. And I know there's the cost and element, but if everyone's just shooting open, it levels the playing field. There's arguments to and from. It's one of those.
I think what you've got to consider is, the IPRF have determined that there's going to be certain classifications, and for us to put out the best team that we can possibly put out, it's good that we have all the best shooters spread across all those different classifications. So if you'd have got into open, Jack, who would have stepped in behind you to represent us in military?
And I think that is crucial. I don't think we're going to. I can almost guarantee we're not going to win open, but I do think we've got a very, very good shot of winning. Others.
I mean, you say that, but I know we still need to, compare ourselves against the Americans in competition. And you're always going to look at the Americans as the benchmark. But I'll tell you what.
On the other hand, Americans are flying, for some of them, 18, 12 hours?
Yeah,
they're going to be jet lagged. They're going to be completely different continent.
And not everybody's a Brazil who can do it on a different continent. But,
we're saying how we've pulled it together in a few months. For us, hopping one border to get to France. I mean, I know they can fly in, and by extension, it's one border. But the moving parts they've got over there. I mean, Christian and I have seen America trying to pull a team together. I'm not going to lie to you. I know you say we won't win open. We got to a point. I can't remember which match it was. About halfway through the season, I stood there watching everyone shoot. And I was talking to someone. I think I was talking to John at Orion. We were talking about the quality of shooters we've got. Mm-hmm. I would feel like I was being disingenuous if I said, we're going to go over there, we're going to do really well with the team that wasn't that good. We've got some amazing shooters. On the day, if we get and it's like anything, conditions. I'm pretty sure the conditions in northeastern France will suit us more than.
Yes.
I'll say this without getting shot at. fair weather, good humidity shooters from America who don't have wind and rain to contend with, who are shooting on some beautiful desert plain with all the perfect ticky boxes ticked. We get a bit of weather over there, and all of a sudden the people that are used to grizzing it out on ranges where the weather's been horrendous, they'll start to come good.
I mean, any American viewers are
shooters.
going to hate us for slagging them off, but yeah, I mean, the perfect example is Ryan went over there not long ago, and he did. He came like fourth, I think, and he had some top PRS shooters in that match. Flying, as you say, traveling all that way, and then shooting with his. Admittedly, he had his own kit, but that's really good, well going.
But look at in Bitch. That was pretty much a European Championships that they've just shot over in France. 12 different countries from all around Europe, and I think South Africans were there as well. I might have got that wrong, but Josh came second.
You did, yeah. The countries I'm worried about are mainly the Northern Europe, Scandinavians. Yeah,
Scandinavians are always worth, because they're used to skiing before the shoot in some of them countries.
Yeah.
I mean, and
them boys can shoot.
You don't get any splash off snow. You don't get a splash off snow. You've got to be spot on, or you're not seeing it.
Well, part of the fun of this is going to be getting there and seeing how some of these countries, because there's going to be diamonds everywhere throughout these nations. People that can just rock up with a factory stalking rifle and find themselves competing towards top end. Tom Rice, Tom's moved over to a chassis now, and he's putting on Bartling barrels and all that sort of stuff. And I have to give him for talking right, but Tom absolutely smashed it for a season with a hunting rifle. Those people will be everywhere across the world coming to this event. But I say it genuinely, I stood and I felt warmly confident seeing some of the abilities of people and the attitudes as well. I think we've got a really good chance to hold our own. No one goes there thinking we're going to win the whole shooting match. Otherwise, what's the point? You should stay at home. You want to do the best you can, but I think we've got a really good chance to.
We're going to be up there.
Proud.
We're going to be up there without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Really confident.
Yeah, of course it.
I'm conscious time-wise. We said we wouldn't go too long with this, and Christian and I've got form for prattling on. I think it's been a fantastic speech, you mate. We're going to be doing stuff out in France, so we'll get a chance to have a chat in France, and we'll keep people updated with what's going on. Thanks for being so involved this season. I mean, because the other thing you do is you get very involved in making videos of stuff and doing all the graphic stuff and all that. And I have people contact me saying, what should I be looking at? How do I understand this sport? And I'll say, go and look at some of the media that like Jack's putting out, or that Christian and Luca have put out, or that sort of tries to make it that virtual. I don't mean that to sound pretentious. And some of the media you've put out, mate, has been so informative for people. So thank you for that as well, because I think you've contributed an awful lot this season to this sport that we're all sort of growing to love.
To be fair, I didn't, and I still don't do it for other people. To be fair, the videos I've been putting out, most of the videos I do lately, for the last couple of matches since I got the trigger cam, they're all, I make them for myself, so I combine the two videos so I can actually see what I'm exactly doing, pick up mistakes.
It's the same as when I make a meal for someone. Our friends come round and they go, "Oh, Simon, that meal was wonderful. Thank you." And I'm not going to lie to you. I was making it because I wanted to eat it. You're just here. But those people will still go home and say they love the meal. So again, for your shooting, for your attitude, for your instructing, for the media you're putting out there, and just for the effort you're making, for being a nice guy, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you along this season, mate. So we look forward to France, and we look forward to whatever the future brings.
Thanks.
Yeah, this is where Christian normally says something deep and meaningful. Christian, hit me with your vibes. Be nice to each other.
He's frozen.
I just agree with everything you said. I've spent a lot of time. Obviously. No, I think my connection is just dropping a little bit. Have you lost me?
No, we can hear you.
You're still talking, but I think you're about 5 seconds behind us.
So, all right, okay.
We could count to 10 at the same time and see what happens, but it's not very good telly.
If I'm back, all I was going to say was I was just going to echo what you were saying, Simon. I think Jack's been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Smashing. Right. Well, thanks again. Thanks for coming on. And we look forward to doing one of these again in the future when you've won the military class of the IPRF World Championships.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Without a spot of camouflage to be seen. That's for sure. That's for sure. Right. It's been a pleasure. Christian, do you want to do your farewell? You get upset if you don't want me to do it.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming along, Jack. It's been great speaking to you tonight. And for everybody listening out there, be kind to one another.
Be kind. What you said. Lovely. Thanks, folks. Stay safe. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.